Hey guys, Patrick here. This time we are looking at another Apple product. It is the MacBook 12-inch, which fits, well, it fits pretty well between the 11-inch Air and the 13-inch Air. So, is it the second one in the lineup? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about where the MacBook fits in the lineup of products, how it compares to the 11 and 13-inch that I mentioned in a review below, so have a look at that. And obviously, is it any good? Is it better? Is it worth your money? Let's talk about the MacBook 12-inch. Now, first of all, as you can see, I'm actually plugged into it and recording the audio through it because I wanted to point something out, and that is super frustrating with this. So the number one frustration is that there is one USB-C port, and this is the 2016 version of this laptop. So to me, it's a second gen. I'd expect a lot better from Apple to add at least another port, a USB-C port. I mean, they've made it quite popular with the 2015 version, but instead, there's nothing else but a 3.5mm jack on the other side. They didn't manage to fit in a laptop, but couldn't fit it in their iPhone 7. Now guys, this laptop is just a little bit bigger than the 11-inch. It's actually square, the 11-inch was rectangular, but what's missing from this compared to the other laptop is obviously the USBs and the ability to plug in a screen via the Thunderbolt port. Instead, we've got this USB-C. Now what you're gonna have to end up doing is buying multiple adapters. For this, there are around $70 to $80, sometimes $100, I think, straight from Apple, that you can buy. It'll give you another normal USB. It'll give you actual USB-C, so you can plug in the charger that's over here, which is just a USB-C charger, and it gives you an HDMI and a card reader in some versions of those adapters. So what you're gonna do is, not only are you buying this laptop, you're gonna have to buy some sort of adapter. In fact, I bought this one from eBay. It's just a straight USB-C to just normal USB, so I can plug in my microphone and record things on it. Is it worth it? I mean, you're gonna need it. If you ever want to transfer anything from a USB stick, you're gonna need one. But I can see where Apple is going. Everything is going cloud, and at the end of the day, for example, when I transfer my audio files back to my computer for editing, I actually do it through Google Drive. I have this automatically saved to Google Drive and I just open it up on the other end. I don't ever plug in a USB into this laptop anymore. So I do appreciate that, but I would say that more of these are probably more profitable and more useful. Just like the MacBook Pro, you get a few more in there so you can plug in your power straight away and you can get your adapter in there also, so for other things that are not USB-C compatible just yet. But as a laptop for somebody like, let's say, a uni student, this is absolutely fantastic. You've got an amazing high-resolution screen, and that is what I have to really point the difference out between the Airs. This screen is absolutely magnificent. That Retina screen, and I know how much crap that might be from their marketing team, but it looks absolutely stunning. It's got high resolution, very smooth, the colors are very nice, and overall, if you're going for a laptop and you really want a nice screen, you don't have to get one of those Dell ones, the little ones. They've got a high resolution screen. This will do, and it is really, really nice. So, looking at this laptop, just for the screen, it is worth it. I have to say, watching videos, browsing the web, super clear, super nice. The 11-inch that I used to have, well, it got a bit pixelated, you could really see the edges. With this, everything is smooth, the writing is smooth, and it's an absolute pleasure to look at and use. But there are some differences, especially in the keys and the mousepad. Now we've got the TapTac feedback one. There is no more clicking. It's a actual motor inside that makes it click, and that's, look, I pay no attention to it. Absolutely amazing, love it, works really, really well. And Apple has always done haptic feedback very well, especially in their iPhones, one of the best haptic feedbacks in the industry. Samsung is still a little bit way off from that regard. I do have my S8 and it's not as good as haptic feedback as the iPhones. The keyboard is kind of new. I mean, there's not much travel distance. It's a click now, and you're gonna have a hard time getting used to it. It's hard to type on it. It's not the best typing experience, but let's just say in a couple of hours after use, I was pretty good with it. Actually felt quite nice. It's almost a sensation of using an iPad with their big screen keys. Basically almost just touching it, except it has a little bit of physical feedback. The next thing is the speakers are really good. For a laptop this size, the speakers really blast. And I actually watched a movie on this the other day, sitting on a couch instead of the TV, because I really liked the sound of it and its high resolution screen. Really nice. And for movie watchers and just YouTube and web browsing and doing some typing work, it's really good. I really like it. As a workhorse without any extra USBs, I don't know, you know, it's something that's missing from it. The ability to plug in multiple items. Let's say I've got a camera, I want to plug in the SD card, you're gonna need an adapter. But insane battery life on this, so when you take it on the road, is absolutely awesome. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn it around here, I'm gonna show you something. If we look at this MacBook here, this is the bottom. I'm gonna point to where the batteries are and where the actual CPU, RAM, and the guts of it are. So this bit here, this is the guts of it. Everything else is battery. And I'll get a picture of it on the screen in a second. But guys, there is a lot of batteries in this, and the actual main board is the size of an iPhone 6. That's how small it is. So the question becomes, is it actually powerful enough to do anything other than web browse and YouTube videos? Well, first of all, it's got 8 gigs of RAM at 1.1 M3 1.1 gigahertz M3 Intel CPU. And look, M3 is the lowest one of them all. So, you know, there goes M5, M7, but M3 is the lowest. It's got 1.1, but it does turbo to 2.7, and I do appreciate it. In a workload, it does do its bit. So you can do some light Premiere editing, very light. Don't really expect 4K, but you would be able to do it. It will be very slow. What you can expect really well is light to medium Photoshop work, and Adobe Audition obviously works really well with this. Personally, I use it a lot. I wouldn't be editing too much on it, just because I think using a touch pad isn't the best thing for editing. You want some precision with the mouse. But keep that in mind, that's your own personal preference. I've had to do it at a pinch before. It works absolutely fine. But in saying that, that workload really puts a strain on this fanless design. Yes, it is fanless, there is no humming from it. And that is technically its downfall, because that CPU, the M3, does turbo to 2.7, but it gets overheated very quickly. It will have a lot of heat up here, and from the bottom, it was actually hard to touch. It got very hot, and that limited the boost capabilities of its CPU. So to me, if you got a little bit of one of those pads with fans, you're actually gonna get a little bit more out of this laptop. And if we do some tests, like gaming tests, things work well. Here is the Storm actually work on this, 30 frames. StarCraft works pretty well on this. It's not competitive, but it's something fun to do when maybe you're out and about and you just want to have a little bit of a game. Maybe you're a uni student and you just want to break. This would be the perfect gaming laptop for that, but don't call it a gaming laptop. I'm sorry I used that word. So my friends, let's talk about the price of this MacBook compared to the Airs and why I got it. Well, first of all, I sold my MacBook Air 11-inch on Gumtree. I really wanted to review this. I went to in store, I checked it out, I thought, wow, okay, I'm really interested. And I sold my 11-inch for a very good price because it's now rare. You can't find those anymore. They're really nice laptops, long battery life, very powerful i5 core Intel CPU in it, but you can't find them, and they're basically that mini version of this with much better specs. So very good price. I guess Apple products, you know, they don't lose price very quickly. This I bought for $1,300, the 2016 version, 8 gigs of RAM, 1.1 gigahertz M3 version. Now, I bought it online from a Hong Kong dealer, so it was, you know, kind of like on the grey market as they call it. Standard price in Australia was $1,600 for this MacBook. And let's talk about that price, because while I got it cheaper and while all of you can get it cheaper, the 2017 version is $1,500, which is the standard one being sold now, which is actually $1,800 in Australia. But let's look at the price as if it's, you know, $1,500 to $1,800. It is darn expensive for what you get. Yes, it's a small factor Ultrabook, but it is expensive. $1,800 will get you a MacBook Pro, almost the lower end of it. and $1,500 will get you a MacBook Air 13-inch with a lot more ports, larger screen, terrible resolution, but it's still a bigger, more powerful laptop. The keyboards are standard, they're not this weird clicky one, and I do say it's weird because it is hard to get used to. So the price is fitting for its size. It's very compact and it's very light, and my hand is not getting tired at all. But you're paying for that portability, and it is light and it is very, very thin. And that screen is absolutely gorgeous. You don't get small computers, small laptops with such nice screens anymore, so you're gonna have to pay the price. So at $1,800, is it worth it? I don't think so at all, because it's for the portability. You're paying for the portability. At $1,300, however, let's say even $1,400, it fits in with the lineup between the 11-inch and the 13-inch. Then you're actually making the decision to go to a small laptop with weirder keys, but a higher resolution screen with a lot less power. And that actually makes sense. But at $1,800, I don't think it makes sense at all. That's my opinion, obviously. That's my review of it. But I guess looking at it for $1,300, I think I got a fantastic price, and I'm really, really stoked about it. And I did end up buying one of these little USB adapters for about 20 bucks from Good Guys. So there's that, I suppose. I had to buy another little thing, but 20 bucks isn't as much as it is for a $70 one. But if you go on eBay, you can get the full set for about $18, and I did that, but it's gonna take about a month to arrive. So keep that in mind when you're buying things off eBay. You can get them cheaper, but it'll take a while to basically get back to you. Now finally, my general experience with this laptop has been absolutely amazing in the last couple of weeks. I've absolutely loved using it. I in fact just want to grab just to look at that screen, because that screen is just gorgeous. I have tried some games that worked okay, but what I'm gonna say to finish off is that this is a beautiful design of a laptop. I love the aluminium. Apple really does that well, I have to admit it. I do not like plastic laptops. They're supposed to be portable and actually a little bit more indestructible. And aluminium does provide that for laptops. And I do believe anything that's plastic is just crap at this point. I mean, Apple's been doing this for such a long time. Why hasn't anybody else caught up? I know there are some that have, but there's still plastic somewhere in there. This nice aluminium case, chassis, does make the difference. Guys, thank you very much for watching my review of the MacBook 2012. A very odd lineup when it first initially came out, but now I really do see where it fits. It is that entry level, very expensive, small ultrabook that a lot of professionals will like. Professionals in the typing industry, not the editing industry, and a lot of home users really appreciate the size and resolution of the screen. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in another review. Stay subscribed or subscribed if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let me know why, and let me know what you think of this MacBook. I like it. I'm pretty happy with it. And look, you know, it's a good laptop. I mean, you're getting a MacBook. You kind of expect good. Is it great? I think it's a lot better than the 11-inch. I think it's a lot better than the 13-inch. But power-wise, if I'm doing work, I'm going with a 13-inch. That's just the way it is. And if you're doing high editing or Photoshop or Premiere, don't even bother with this or the 13-inch MacBook. You're gonna have to buy a MacBook Pro. You're gonna spend a little bit of extra money, but you are gonna get the performance. Or ignore Mac altogether, ignore Apple, and just go with Windows, and you'll have the best of all worlds on a desktop, or, well, probably not a laptop. Laptop, I still stick to Mac. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.